This is my second take for the day. Um, Not that you need this backstory, but today I think I nearly crashed out. Or I did crash out. And now I'm just very calm. I'm very calm. So let's make this video energetic, right? So I'm continuing with the series of things that I learned from the Old Testament. So the first lesson for today is God will make today bad so that tomorrow can be better. To illustrate this, let me tell you a story. So once upon a time, right? I wanted to give this person a letter or a gift rather, and it just didn't work out. Like it just didn't work out. So in the moment I was so angry, not even angry. I was just like, why? Like I just wasn't happy. I can't say I was upset. I can't say I was angry. I just was not happy. Then 30 minutes later, I was like, God was on my side, because if that actually went through, if I actually gave the person the letter, I would have been embarrassed. I would have been embarrassed. So God made the now, which was back then. So he made like the now bad so that the future could be better. Because I promise you, if what I had been planning in that situation actually happened, I would not be recording right now. I wouldn't be recording. So the message here is, a lot of times today may seem bad. You may be going through a lot of trials. You may be going through things where it's like you look at God and you're like, why do I even need to go through this? This seems unnecessary. Why can't things go my way for once? But you need to understand, for things to go your way tomorrow, you need to face a bit of turbulence today. For you to truly enjoy the sunlight, you have to experience rain. If you're going through one of those bad days, remember that God will make today bad, or God will allow today to be bad so that tomorrow can be good. The second lesson that I'm going to share for you today is that feelings don't matter. I don't know who told you that your feelings matter. I mean, of course they do, but just go with it. Your feelings don't matter. For a lot of my Christian journey, I would ask myself, why am I not on fire for God? Or when I was on fire for God, I'd be like, yes, I'm on fire for God. And I realized that that doesn't matter. Who said the most important thing is for you to be like, oh, I feel this warm feeling in my stomach. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, whatever, I'm on fire for God. The most important thing is your obedience to God, listening to what he says, reading his word, and living the life that he wants you to live. It's not about being perfect, but it's about making progress towards that ideal that we'll never be able to get. We will never be able to live a life like Jesus, but we can strive to become Christ-like. We can strive to become better each day. And the reason why I say your feelings don't matter is because in one of the Gospels, I actually don't know which Gospel it was, but there was this parable of two sons. One son, the father asked the son, hey, go and do this. And at first he was like, no, I don't want to do this. And then he was like, you know what, let me do it. The second son just didn't do it. So the conclusion was, it's better to say that I don't want to do it and then do the right thing afterwards than to not do it at all. So in that moment, the son who did it was ignoring his feelings. If your feelings mattered, then that son wouldn't have been a good son, because his feelings were against what the father wanted him to do. If your feelings truly mattered, are you happy with God every day? Are you joyful? Are you praising him every day? You should be praising him every day. But there's some days where you're just like, God, why? And you're not happy. You're not happy. You're like Jonah, who was watching over that city. I don't want to say it. I'm going to say it. Nineveh, whatever. I don't know if I said it right. But he was watching over that city and he was upset that God saved the city because they repented. Some days we're not going to be happy with God. But the most important thing is that you do what he says. That you abide by him. That you walk that narrow path that leads to the kingdom of God. The last lesson for today, I'm making these very short because the crash out energy is still within me. If this video is longer, just know there will be fire. But anyway, the third lesson for today is live with an open heart, even if it hurts. I don't know when this happened. I don't know if it's always been like this. But nowadays in society, people get hurt and they close up. In efforts to protect their hurting heart, they pretend as if they don't have a heart. They pretend as if that event didn't hurt them. They pretend as if that person didn't deeply damage their feelings. They pretend as if they're okay. They have this, it is what it is. It is what it is. Who cares? I'm nonchalant. They have this view on life. Not even this view, because deep down they're hurting, but they just act as if they're not. And when you do that, you don't experience life. We are called to live with an open heart. We are called to experience all of life, because life isn't just happiness. Life isn't just the goodness. Life is grief. Life is sadness. Life is regret. But life is also happiness, joy. I was trying to look for a third word, but I can't find a third word that's positive. So just imagine that third word. Life is a full spectrum. In one book of the Bible, you will see that David danced with all his might before the Lord. He was hitting those moves. And then in another book, in Psalms, David is telling God to go away from him, that he doesn't want to see God, that he's miserable. When you go to the book of 1 Samuel, Hannah is the embodiment of living with an open heart. Because let me give you a backstory. Hannah, she was trying to have a son, but then she couldn't have a son. So she prayed before the Lord. She poured her heart out so much so that the person who saw her praying thought she was drunk. Imagine if you prayed with all your might, if you prayed with so much passion that someone looking at you thought you were drunk. Because when I'm praying, I'm just like this. But that's when I'm praying in front of other people. When I'm praying in my room, I'll be doing annotations with my hand. I know annotations are writing, but it's like I'm directing. I'll be like this, and I'll be like that. But that stays between me and God. The point I'm making is Hannah lived with such an open heart. She poured everything out into that prayer. And guess what? God gave her the son. And I'm not saying that if you live with an open heart, God is going to give you everything you ask for. But I am saying that if you live with an open heart, you will actually live. My vocabulary is a bit stripped today because I'm about to crash out. But I think I'll end the video there. Anyways, I hope you have a lovely day. For some reason, we celebrated Father's Day 3 weeks after actual Father's Day. I guess we all went to get some milk and we're back 3 weeks later. So anyways, the message is just appreciate your parents. Whether it's your father, whether it's your mother, whether it's your father who's doing 2 roles, whether it's your mother who's doing 2 roles. Just appreciate your parents. Just show them you love them. If you don't love them, pretend. I don't know.